We're going to be talking about how to get your nutrition habits right without stressing the bad stuff. So we're going to talk about a few philosophies around nutrition. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can consider this morning in order to stop sweating the bad stuff. So if you often find yourself stressing about trying to get it perfect, or if you're putting a lot of focus and attention and energy on trying to get it right, so much so that you are stressing about the bad stuff, then look, this morning's session is for you. So my name is Taryn Thompson. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I've lost 28 kilos, and so over the last 6 years I really dedicated myself to helping people achieve their ideal body. I specialize in health coaching and hormone health. So how to stop sweating the bad stuff and to be able to get some good philosophies around nutrition. Well, first of all, it's been a long time, okay? It has been a very long time, and over the last 6 years, my philosophy around nutrition has changed, quite a few times over. So you got to get comfortable with the fact that it is a journey, and you got to learn to love the process, which I know might sound really hard, and it's easier said than done, but you got to get comfortable with challenge. That would be one of the things that really makes it a complete game changer, all right? Getting comfortable with the process and getting comfortable with challenge. Now, my top 3 things, all right, when I had to stop and think about what was going to actually really, really help you move forward, one of the things that I commonly see is people worrying too much about calories coming in and not enough about calories going out, okay? So I'm talking about exercise, all right? So much of the focus and attention goes on calories coming in, so on the nutrition, and not enough going on around exercise. And it's so important that you develop a good relationship around exercise, because it really does help you develop a tolerance for getting comfortable with challenge, right? Because exercise is challenging. I remember when I very first started exercising, I walked into a gym. I promise you I would never have walked into a gym by myself, but I walked in with one of my girlfriends. She said she was going to join a gym. I thought, well, I need to as well, and I was very young, and when I walked in, I had no idea what anything was or how to use anything, and the only thing I knew was a treadmill. So I hopped on and I thought, well, I better start running, and I started running, and I literally died like after 20 seconds of running. And I thought, my goodness, if anyone was chasing me, or if a dog was chasing me, I'd be toast. And so, I did not have a very good relationship around exercise at all. So developing one and getting this mind over mattress mentality is critical for your success, right? So if you've got goals and you take a look at your habits around nutrition and exercise, and if you see that your focus is so much around nutrition that you have not yet developed any kind of a habit around exercise, then you will have to sweat the small stuff when it comes to your nutrition. You will, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what else you look at in terms of the quality of your foods and in terms of all of those things, it still is fundamentally about making sure that you are not consuming more calories than you are expending. And so if you are not exercising, and you're going to need to put so much focus and attention on your nutrition, right? And making sure that you are eating less and less and less and less all the time. If that is a focus for you, then you're going to develop a really poor philosophy and some really poor habits and ideas about what nutrition is really about, all right? And so one of the first things you've got to do is make sure that you develop a good relationship with exercise. One of the things that it will teach you to do is to push through, okay? When you look at at being empowered in this area of your life, in the health area of your life, and you've got some goals that you want to achieve, you've really got to get comfortable with pushing through. There are going to be so many opportunities throughout your journey where you're going to feel like you're failing. All right, and then it's about getting to that point and being able to push through when it's real hard, because it's just about to get better. You're just about to have a breakthrough, and that happens so many times throughout my journey. And when I look at the way that when I look at the most common reason why people think that they are not going to make it, why they are not going to achieve their goals, it's rarely about information. It is mostly about their belief, their self-belief. All right, and so exercise really does condition more than just your body. It conditions yourself. All right, conditions yourself. So getting into good habits around exercise is key. 2, I see people taking a real simplistic view of eating. Okay, a real simplistic view of food, separating good foods into bad foods. And when you have this kind of a philosophy around food, it really is kind of like a very childlike mentality. All right, when when I think of the way that I sometimes talk to my 1-year-old, right? When I think of the way I sometimes talk to him, I'm saying, no, this is bad, and yes, this is good, and and making things so oversimplistic like that for us is just it's not a healthy philosophy to have around food. And so when you do that, it's too over simplistic. You need to, yes, be looking at the best foods that you can eat. If you've got some health goals that you want to achieve, of course, to get that body, you're going to need to pick the best foods. But it's much more important when you look at how much you're eating. Okay, it's super important to look at how much you're eating. If you can get this one thing down, if you can get this one habit sorted around how much you're eating, it'll take you far. All right, I've seen many times where actually, I'll give you an example. One of my clients who I'm working with at the moment, she's always been very health focused. She loves food, and she has a great deal of respect for her body, and the quality of the food that she puts into her mouth is insane. It's beautiful, and more plants than most people, and at the same time, though, still too much. All right, so there is such a thing as too much of a good thing, and so what you've got to develop a philosophy around is the quantity of food. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. All right, so take away those simplistic ideas of foods being good and being bad. It honestly is about what you are doing 80% of the time. All right, 20% of the time, it's not such a big drama, but 80% of the time, if you get it right, then you don't need to stress about the 20% of the time. All right, but if you're not and you are using this oversimplistic view, then you are going to be stressing most of the time. All right, so that is an important philosophy. The third thing is to change your perspective or change your idea about why it is that you need to achieve your goal. All right, change the idea. So when I think about what it was like when in a past life, right? When I think about what it was like for me, I was all my focus and attention was, my body was my highest priority. My focus and attention on my exercise habits and my eating habits were so, they were so rigid, so disciplined. I exercised at least 5 days a week, but mostly 6. I was training, and the volume of training was high. I would train for at least an hour, but mostly an hour and a half. I spent a lot of time at the gym. I had a lot of relationships at the gym. The fact that I worked at a gym for a lot of my career was neither here nor there. I probably would have spent more time there anyway. But a lot of my, I made sure that I always was getting at least 7 hours sleep, but mostly I was aiming for 8. A lot of my time went into making sure that that I had enough food prepped. It was mostly the topic of conversation, so you could see that it was super high on my values. And if you're young, you're probably nodding right now. And but as I got older and when I had my first child and got married and and started a business, my focus changed. My focus changed and my priorities changed, and most especially when I had my kid. When I had Orlando. And when your priorities and your focus change like that, your reasons why change. And this is what happened to me. And all of a sudden I realized that my body, in terms of aesthetics, all right, so the way I looked, wasn't so important to me. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I still wanted to look good, but it wasn't as high on my priorities as other things were. So if you're older, now you're nodding, all right? And if you're younger, don't worry, at some point you'll be nodding as well, all right? So, in the past, it was about aesthetics and the way that I looked, but then it became about functionality, and it became about energy, and it became about, who I needed to be for my kid, and the energy that I needed to be able to just get through my day, feeling well, all right, and having a clear head, and being able to think and do things and perform at a high level. That's really what it became about, less about aesthetics and the way that I looked. So when you look at when you look at your reasons for why you are wanting to achieve in this area of your life, for why you are wanting to achieve your health goals, really consider what are the reasons why you need to achieve it. All right? And if they are purely aesthetic, if they are purely about the way that you look, then look, I'm going to be honest, you're going to find it a challenge. You're going to find it a struggle, because motivation in that area, it can come and go. It can fizzle out, all right? But when I take a look at when I really achieved to the highest level and it became a solid part of my lifestyle, and when I look at my clients' results and the ones who are really achieving and who really achieve, they are the ones who have figured out who they are doing this for. All right, so who in their life are they doing this for? So is it their children? Is it their grandchildren? Is it because of their relationship that they want to try new things like travel together? And, one may have travel goals. The other, doesn't particularly like tramping on a holiday. Or, their kids are very active and they would like to be able to go on school camps with them, but they haven't felt comfortable doing that in the past. Their kids like to swim and to have the mum swim with them, but the mum doesn't feel comfortable putting swimming togs on, so that affects the connection. Things like this that are fundamentally important to having good quality relationships with kids. Or maybe it's a bigger reason than even that. Maybe it's about your impact on the world. Whatever it is, it's something that is outside of you. All right, so looking at the reasons as to why you need to achieve your health goals, something that is outside of you is the clue. All right, when you look at these three areas, all right, if you consider these three areas around developing a good relationship with exercise, not taking an overly simplistic view on nutrition and calling foods good and calling foods bad, but really looking at how much you are eating, and then addressing what are the reasons why you need to achieve this goal, and looking outside of you. So is there someone that you are willing to do this for, someone close to you that you really, really care about, that you're willing to do this for, like your kids, then, or perhaps a greater reason than even that, then those are the three things that are really going to take you the furthest. So that is the message for today, you guys. I really hope that you got some value from that. If you did, then feel free to like, comment, or share. On Periscope, if you're watching live, then the way that you can show your appreciation for the content is by tapping on the screen, and sharing is swiping up and swiping across. I see some of you have already been doing that. That's awesome. On Facebook Live, there's a share button to the right. So have a great day, you guys. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. will be the last one for the week. So if you are new and if you haven't joined before, then at 8 a.m. Monday to Thursday is when I do these live posts. So I'm going to let you know about a course that I'm doing. It's a group coaching course, and if you guys are interested in this group coaching course, it will be coming up in September. But if you like this and you're liking the information and you're getting a lot from it, and you're ready to do something right now, you're ready to address and start to follow and look at the way that you are doing food, that you are doing your nutrition, that you are doing exercise, and you need a structured way to be able to move yourself through that, we do have an online virtual course which you can tap into. Information's on the website. Just go to generationhealth.co.nz. It's www.generationhealth.co.nz, and just search under the tab that says nutrition course. All right. That's it for this morning, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.